Welcome into our Google chat. We are here today with none other than Ben Woosley, who is President, General Manager of the amazing credit card forum called it's Credit Card Forum, and it's a social media site where people can get together and throw in their ideas and get really great advice. So I'm very excited to have Ben here today. Ben, welcome in.
Hey, Erica. Good to be with you.
Great to have you. So today's topic, very timely, all about rewards cards and kind of preparing for the holiday season, because like it or not, it's really starting to bear down on us. And a lot of people can use these rewards cards to maximize their points, really get some great cash, some great stuff. And you know, you're the guy to go to. So tell me first what your kind of overall opinion is on these rewards cards and using them great for the holiday season.
Well, first off, I think reward cards are a great thing. Reward cards have been around, gosh, for probably 20 years, 25 years or so, but they've really become, much more sophisticated in the last, let's say, 10 years or so, to where they've started to cater to people, across a number of different types of categories, whether it's cash back or points or miles or whatever. And, I think they're a great thing for people to be able to just leverage their spending and get paid for spending that they're going to, do anyway. But they're really meant to try, in terms of from the bank's perspective, from the card issuer's perspective, to get people to move their spending from cash and checks and debit cards and that sort of thing, and concentrate them on, their reward card. So it's really kind of a win-win for both the card issuer and the consumer, because the bank makes money from merchants accepting the card, plus they make money, when people maybe carry a balance, which we don't really recommend, but the consumer makes money, 1 or 2% cash back, or, in terms of points or miles when they just do their regular spending. So they're really a great deal.
Would you say that they're getting better and better as the credit card companies, the issuers are, kind of driving the market? Are they improving over time and just really kind of catering to people's needs and wants?
Yeah, I would say the main thing going on is competition, and that competition among card issuers is what is driving them to make the rewards either richer or more differentiated to appeal to various segments of consumers. And they've even gotten to the point where they're offering pretty lucrative sign-up bonuses as an inducement to take their card versus some other bank's card. So all these things together really work to the benefit of consumers.
It's actually really exciting when you think about it, because you can use your credit card, and instead of having to pay a fee, these interest or sometimes annual fees, and we'll get to that, but you can actually make money from it. And you do see people who come out ahead, correct?
Oh, absolutely. I've used reward cards for years, and I make hundreds of dollars a year, I'd say, just with regular spending. But ever since I've been president of this website, one of the main things that I get to do is kind of moderate the conversations that go on between people all across the country that are really into these reward cards. And I learn stuff every day. Even though I worked in the credit card industry for years and years, I learn all these strategies that I just didn't know about. And people are making thousands of dollars off reward cards, and they don't just have one, they have a whole wallet full that are really designed to get and maximize rewards in different spending categories. So there are people that if they're willing to play the game,
yeah,
are really making quite a bit of money off their regular spending.
Yeah, that's so savvy. But let's start with even just getting one. First up, we used to say in the past, don't get a credit card with an annual fee. Why pay just to have the card? But in some cases, it does make sense. With the rewards cards, some of the fees can be quite high, and it depends on like, the elite level status of these cards. You're talking like $500, but some are more reasonable, $49, $29. When is it wise to cough up the fee, and when is it better just to kind of back off?
Yeah, there are a lot of different calculations you kind of have to go through in your head to figure out if it makes sense to pay an annual fee. Probably a rule of thumb is you need to spend a fair amount of money each year to be able to earn enough rewards to offset an annual fee, whatever it is. Even some people, they're willing to pay $500 a year for one of these elite reward cards, like the American Express Platinum card or the Visa Black card, something like that. Some people, they can justify that because they may travel constantly for business and they spend $50,000 or $100,000 a year, and they're making rewards well above that amount, and they get a lot of perks. But I'd say, probably, for most people, it can make sense if you, have affinity for a certain airline, say, because most of the airline specific reward cards, the miles cards, have an annual fee. Same thing with the hotel cards. And some of those pay a huge upfront sign-up bonus if you spend a certain amount within 3 or 4 months. And that can more than offset the annual fee. Plus, a lot of times those fees are waived during the first year, so you can kind of test drive the card to see if if it makes sense for you. But on the other hand, there are a ton of cards out there that have no annual fee. They're not quite as rich of reward programs typically, but there are a lot of options to not pay a fee. But I'd say that the primary thing to be concerned about is, do you spend enough on the card to earn rewards in excess of the fee? That's the bottom line.
And that leads me to my next question, is that if you do get that great sign-on bonus, it's 40,000 points, what do you have to spend? You're going to have to use the card, right? So the repercussions for not doing it and for not kind of following that rule that you agreed to, you're not going to get what you wanted initially.
Right. Typically, these initial spending requirements are like $2,000 to $3,000 during the first 3 months or 4 months. Yeah. And if you use a reward card for all your spending, you're not using any other credit cards in your wallet, and you just kind of focus your spending on that one card, most people in this country can meet those spending requirements. $1,000 a month. Yeah. So it's not that hard to do.
Now
it seems like kind of an onerous thing, right? But yeah. So if you're somebody that uses credit cards pretty often, it's usually not a huge hurdle. But if you're somebody that's never had a card before and you're like right out of college, it might be kind of a challenge to spend that much. So you kind of have to ask yourself that up front.
Yeah. Now there are so many cards on the market that offer great rewards. To clear through the muck and to really choose one, we started talking about annual fees. Now let's talk about APRs and talk about the type of card that would be best for you. Because is it travel? Is it gas? Is it cash back? How do you focus your attention on getting the right one?
Yeah, what I tend to advise people to do, when they're thinking about getting a rewards card in general is, the first step is, does it make sense to have a rewards card? And, I think it probably breaks down to whether you carry a balance on a regular basis or not. If you are somebody that, uses a card to borrow money and you're kind of in card debt, I actually would recommend not even having a rewards card for a while, at least until you get out of debt, because, the interest charges that you're paying are going to more than offset any rewards you might earn. So it's better to go and find a card that doesn't have a reward program, because it's going to probably have a lower interest rate, and it's not going to tempt you to keep spending more and more and more, which is a kind of a psychological effect of a rewards card. But if you do tend to pay your balance in full each month, I think it's, it makes perfect sense to have a rewards card. Why not get paid for money you're spending anyway? But then it comes down to what kind of reward do you find most motivating? And that's a very subjective thing. Some people love cash back. Some people just want the points that they can spend on merchandise or anything almost. And then some people just love free travel, airline miles or free hotel nights. It really just depends on what you find motivating. and what the deals are out there in the marketplace.
Okay. So there you go. So if you love travel, boom, that's kind of an automatic thing, right? Because you are going to get some great perks. Not so into, you just prefer to stay home. Cashback may work best for you. And just kind of a brief overview on how the cashback system works. Could you kind of go over that a little bit?
Yeah, basically, most cashback programs just kind of pay you a rebate of a certain percentage on your spending. It's typically 1%. Some cards offer extra cash back for different categories of spending that often either rotate each quarter or they're kind of fixed. The Discover It card is a good example. They pay 1% on all purchases, but every quarter they have a spending category that pays 5% cash back. And in Q4, that category is on online shopping, pretty much any online shopping, which is huge for the holiday season, as well as any department store. So, I mean, that would be a great example of a basic card with no annual fee that would really be a big win for almost anybody during the holiday season. But so you rack up this cash back in your account, and once you hit a certain threshold, you can redeem it, either for like a gift card, or they can send you a check, or they can give you a statement credit, however you want to receive that cash back.
Yeah, and that's cash you could spend on gifts. So bringing this back to the whole holiday charging issue, getting that credit card that does offer the rewards, give me 3 great tips for people who want to maximize their cards, don't want to get into debt, definitely don't want to pay interest surcharges. Give me some great information for people who are in the market.
Well, as with the Discover It card, and there are several other ones out there, if you just want to get a card to really try to maximize holiday spending, maybe look for one that does have a sign-up bonus of $100 or $200, something like that, because you can easily leverage your holiday spending to meet that threshold. Number 2, certainly don't want to ever pay late. That way you can avoid interest charges ever. You don't even have to care about what the APR is. Just always pay your bill in full each month. And then look for a card that has either a solid 1% cash back and extra spending category rewards for something that you think you may do in the fourth quarter, but also look beyond, because you probably want to keep this card at least a year or so, if not for the long term. Look for something that is going to reward your long-term spending and can be a vital financial product for you.
Yeah, and let me throw one more in.
Okay.
Customer service. Let's face it, sometimes you just want to talk to somebody, and it can be a little confusing. You're like, I've got these points, what are they good for? How can I get more? Getting somebody on the phone and really having a one-on-one chat sometimes is really, really important to people, is it not?
Yeah, it can really be huge, and I encourage people to do research online. Sites like ours that have a conversation about who does have the best customer service. I'll tell you, Discover Card has really great customer service that's not outsourced outside the U.S. Chase has a good reputation, as well as Capital One. Pretty much all the major banks, you're probably going to have a pretty good chance of having a good customer service experience. But I definitely encourage people to do their research and homework as well to see what other people are saying.
Great. We only have a couple minutes left, so to wrap up, get the best card, the right card. Do not keep a balance. Always pay on time, right?
Right.
And seek the card that has the type of customer service that is going to work for you. Could be a really great website too, right? Something that's just really easy. I'm a technological fool. I need something simple. So that too, correct?
Correct. Yeah, it's got to be user friendly. So I think people just need to do their homework and find a card that fits their lifestyle and their spending patterns.
Yeah, and don't just spend for the points.
Exactly. Yeah, don't spend money that you don't have to, but
Right.
get paid for the money you're going to spend anyway.
That's right. Well, thank you so much, Ben. It was really great having you here. Any final remarks? Just get out there and make it a inexpensive holiday.
Yeah, I think credit cards can make the holiday season, much more affordable, especially if you get paid back for all that holiday spending.
Yeah. All right. Wonderful to have you.
Good to be with you, Erica. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.